to my channel. Today we're doing a little sit down chit chat because I'm tired. I just got off work and I don't have anything to do to my hair. As always, thank you to my returning subscribers and welcome to my new subscribers. So the reason why I did this video is because I've been getting a lot of questions about me finding a new job and how that's going and all of that. So I was like, oh, let me make a video on that. So for those who don't know, I was out of work for like 4 months, 4.5 months. I was working a contract job and it ended December of 2023. So I'm going to be eating and talking. So I guess you can call it like a mukbang, but it's really just a slice of apple pie with some Cool Whip because that's what I was craving when I got off work. Yeah, so I was out of work for like 4 months, interviewing all over the place, sending out tons of resumes, you know, following up, tailoring your resumes. That's something that's very important. A lot of people kind of like, they skim over. You can't send the same resume out to every job because sometimes you got to tailor it. And when I say tailor, I don't mean lie on your resume. You can maybe fudge a little bit, but really try not to do that because you can get caught. Trust me when I tell you, you can get caught. I never did it because I'm just not, I don't want to play that game. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to risk losing my job because I put something on my resume that I could do, and then when I actually get the job, I can't do it. You feel me? So I wasn't doing none of that. But anyway, sending out tons of resumes, went on a bunch of interviews. What I was, my goal for me was to try to get back into medical, right? That's my passion. That's what I always wanted to do. That's where I wanted to be. The company that I was working for before was not in the medical field whatsoever. And I liked it. It was a really cool job, all of that good stuff. But I knew that I was going to get back into medical. So that's what the goal was. That's what I was trying to do when I knew my contract was kind of like ending or near ending or whatever. So fast forward to now, I'm working at a company as a legal assistant. I think I said that in like maybe 2 videos ago. So the job is dope. My boss is, you know, really cool. Everybody is lawyers. This is my first time working for lawyers. So I'm learning that whole side of the spectrum. Really, really interesting things. I'm seeing a lot of different types of lawsuits come through. You would not believe, yo, you can really sue for anything. And when I say anything, I mean anything. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to win and you're going to get a settlement. It doesn't mean that at all. But you can really sue for anything. Like, obviously, I can't talk about the stuff that I see, but it's crazy out here. I'm telling you right now, it's crazy out here. So anyway, that job was working good. I've been there. I started June 3rd. Yeah, June 3rd, and we're now at July 9th. So a little over a month, right? About maybe a week ago, a week and a half ago, a job in a hospital that I applied to back in April hit me up and was like, oh, you know, same thing that they always say when they contact you. We want to bring you in for an interview. We liked your resume, you know, yada, yada, yada. And it was like, we were slow to fill this role because we were trying to find the right fit. That right there is code for they just was turning everybody down. They could be too picky. There could have been a lot of friction. Maybe they did hire somebody and it didn't work out. So now they got to try to find somebody else. There's a lot of different ways that companies spin stuff when they're talking. So you just got to kind of read between the lines. And if you're well versed in it and you have the experience, you know what it is that they're trying to say. So I was like, you know what? You know, I'm talking to my friends and I was like, damn, I don't know because I just got this job. You know, I've only been here for a few weeks. At the time, I was only there for like maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks, something like that. And I was like, you know, I like it. It's all right. Now, is it nonstop? 100%. It's nonstop. As soon as I walk through the door. My schedule is obviously 5 days a week. 2 days is work from home. 3 days in office. So my schedule is 7:30 to 3:30. My boss is real lenient. As long as I get my 40 hours, she doesn't care how I split it up, how I do it. That's great. But it's nonstop. As soon as I hit that door, until the minute I'm going home, right? But I like that. I'm one of those people, I don't like to sit stagnant at work. I don't like trying to find stuff to do. I don't like busy work. I want to be busy at work, if that makes sense. Now, there are people who are completely opposite of me, that they want to just chill, you know what I'm saying, coast, clock in, clock out, and go home. That's cool and that's great, but I feel like my brain is just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm just getting dumber and dumber by the second, if that makes sense. I get bored very easily. It could be because I'm from New York, so I'm used to being like move, everything fast paced, everything. So it's just in my nature. Like I have to be doing something. And so yeah. So they contacted me. So, you know, I'm talking to my friends about it. My friends was like, why not? Go for the interview. It was like, it's not like you're really hurting, you know what I'm saying, for a job because you already have one, you're working, but you never want to turn down an interview. Like you're still new in this company, you're still filling things out. They was like, the same way that you work for a company and the company will come to you and say, hey, it's not working out, you know, da-da-da-da, and they let you go, you have the right to do the same thing. And I never really thought about it from that kind of perspective, because I'm a woman of my word. If I say I'm gonna do something, I like to stick to it. And I don't like to leave people high and dry, because I feel like it's just wrong. I always aim to treat people the way that, I want to be treated. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. From a professional standpoint, those who get it, get it. Those who don't. Because I have friends that are very professional, very smart, educated, all of that, but could give two flying freaks about any job. They have it. But their mentality is their peace comes first, their happiness comes first, like whatever, they don't care. Because they treat the jobs how jobs treat everybody else. Like when they quit, they very seldom give a 2-week notice. Like they just don't care about that, because they're like, yo, they don't give us notice when they want to fire us. All of this is true. None of this is lies. But I guess it's just how everybody decides to move, right? But anyway, I'm getting off topic. So I was like, I bet. I'll go ahead, I interview. Worst case, if I don't like the interview, or if I don't get the job, that's cool, because I already have a job. It's not like I didn't have one, right? So I went ahead and I interviewed. It was a cool interview. It wasn't too stuffy. I was a little nervous initially, but because I've been interviewing for so long that my responses, I'm not going to say are robotic, but they just kind of fly off the tongue. Every now and again, if I feel the vibe is different, depending on how the people are that's interviewing me, I'll throw some jokes in there, you know what I'm saying? I will let the real star come out, because believe it or not, what I do is when I'm in interviews, I turn on my bill collector voice, or whatever you want to call it. Aaliyah hates when I talk that way, because, I don't know, she just says she says you sound weird. A lot of people like to say that, you're talking white, and I mean no disrespect to any of my Caucasian subscribers. It's just, that's what people call it, right? I don't call it that, but that's what people call it. So, I don't do it on purpose all the time, but the times that I do it on purpose, the reason why is because people from New York already have a bad reputation, right? We're mean, we're rude, we're like aggressive, da-da-da-da. And it was actually told to me in an interview one time, because I was dumbing down my accent. I'm gonna give y'all an example. Hi, yes, my name is Starlay, and I'm here to interview for the position. I love talking to you guys, and I'm really excited about the position. I thank you for taking the time out to speak with me. That's me dumbing my accent down. You don't hear it. If you do hear it, it's very, very small. You don't hear like my normal with the R's and everything that I say, all the syllables. And I had an interview with Telly one time when I dumbed it down. She was like, oh, I didn't even know you were from New York, because she's like, you don't sound as aggressive as most New Yorkers sound. And see, I hate when they say that, because it's like, what do you expect me to do? Like, that's where I'm from. Like, that's our accent. Louisiana, New Orleans, they got their, and I love New Orleans accents. Oh my God, the way they say baby. I mean, I'm probably not saying it how they say it, but I love how they say it. Southerners, they have their accent, they slow drawl, right? Everybody has their accent. You can't help how you sound, where you're from. So that's why a lot of times I turn it off. Funny thing though, when I've turned off my accent, I never got those jobs. Never. Because I didn't feel comfortable, because I wasn't being me. Like, I would take out my nose ring. I would not wear, like, I only really have like 2 or 3 necklaces. I would take off either all of my necklaces or take off one. I would tuck it inside my shirt. You know what I'm saying? I would take off my bracelets. Like, I would just completely dumb myself down. When it came to my hair, like, you see what my hair's in right now? This is from the mini twist. I took it out and I did a half up, half down. I was like, yo, let's get it popping. This is what we doing. This is me. Normally, back when my hair was relaxed, my hair would be straight. It had to be perfectly crisp. And then even with me being natural, the hair had to be freshly washed, fresh wash and go, every curl in place, da-da-da-da, edges slick, all of this, because I was like, I don't want to look too ethnic, because then that started setting into my head. Right? So there's just so many different areas that I would think about for myself, like, oh, you can't sound like this, you can't look like this, like, don't do your makeup too much, don't put on, like, only wear white, how I have on right now. It comes off like gray on the camera, but it's supposed to be white. It's cheap, whatever. Don't wear pink makeup, pink eyeshadow, whatever. Don't wear lipstick on. Like, there was so many different, and it's sad that you feel like you have to come a certain way, because the way that I'm looking at it now is I feel like you should be yourself in the interview. And the reason I'm saying that is because if you get the job and then you come and be who you really are while you're on the job, they're gonna be like, yo, who the hell is this? Who's this? This is not who we hired. So you want to let them see who you are off top, because guess what? Anybody can give a great interview. the people who are interviewing you can give a great interview, and then when you finally get the job, you see that they're jerks. That everything they told you was a lie. There's no team camaraderie. The morale sucks. This and this and that. You know what I'm saying? So just as much as you're interviewing for them, they're interviewing, with you as well. You have the right to ask all the types of questions that you want to know. Like they try to put you on the spot. I put them on the spot. So now when I go to interviews, I'm myself. Like, I'm showing them exactly who I am. I don't change my accent no more. The earrings, I do take the earrings out still. I'm not going to go in there with the ear all studded up. I'm just not going to do it. I wasn't doing that before. I'm not going to do it now. The nose ring, I keep that in because I see a lot of people that are interviewing me, they have nose rings in. So I'm like, all right, it's not like I have like hoops in my nose. I don't have my septum pierced, although I don't see anything wrong with that. But I don't have that. I have a small stud that stays in. Sometimes I wear a pink lip, not too crazy, but sometimes I'll do that, or the pink eyeshadow, whatever the case. So anyway, went to the interview went great. It was kind of laid back. It wasn't stuffy, but it wasn't like super, super chill. Typical interview, asked me some situational questions. For those who don't know, situational questions are, what would you do if? Or tell me about a time when. Those type of questions. And then you got to tell them and all of that. And I have plenty of stories, so I just told them everything. They liked my answers. They asked if I have any questions. They give me a tour. Now, it used to be if they give you a tour around the facility, you got the job. Today, that means nothing. I've been toured around more hospitals than I can tell you, and I have not gotten the job. You know what I'm saying? It's just, sometimes I think it's just standard now that they do this in interviews. I don't know. But for me, if I was the person doing it, I'm not taking you nowhere if I'm not interested in hiring you, because it's wasting my time. I got something to do. I'm sorry, but I got something to do. So, I don't know. I'm just speaking for me. If I was the person interviewing, I'm not going to go through all of that. I'm just not. Because I feel like you shouldn't give somebody false hope. You never know. Like, these people need jobs. They need, they need places to work. So it's like, if you're not interested in them, just be an adult about it. So, I don't remember what day that was. Let's just say that was like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago Tuesday or something, right? Wednesday, the very next day, they called and offered me the job. I was like, oh, snap. And my friends was like, yo, I told you this was going to happen. I told you that you're going to be working, and then God was going to get working, and then everything was going to start working. And it did. So then I was like, tss. So, they called me or whatever. Took the call. I went outside. And they came back with a salary, with an amount. Now, prior to me taking the interview, because that's another thing I'm doing now, is I'm asking up front, how much is it paying? What's the coins looking like? And the reason I'm doing that, I don't want to interview somewhere where I know they're paying, number one, less than I'm already making, or two, less than what I know I can afford to survive on. You understand? Understand this. When you are interviewing, you have every right to ask what that salary is. If they get offended by that and you don't hear from them anymore, guess what? That was God stopping that, because that's not the job for you. There should be, first of all, in a lot of states, it's mandatory that they have to list the salary on the job when you're applying online. Like in California, it's a law. It's a law. Like when you go online and you apply to a job, it will say how much the job is paying. Indeed, LinkedIn, sometimes they show it too. They may show a range. Glassdoor, they may show a range. You don't got to tell me the exact dollar amount if it's really that, top notch. I'm not top notch. If it's that under lock and key type, like Fort Knox. Give me a range. Be like, oh, it's this to this. Okay, then I can still make my determination as to whether or not I want to sit there and I want to go forward. Because once again, why? My time is valuable, just like your time is valuable. You don't want to sit here and interview people that you know you're not going to hire. That's why you have a computer system or a real person that weeds out potential candidates versus people that you know you don't want to talk to. We get that same rate. So if you tell me the job is paying X amount of dollars and I'm like, nah, I'm going to slide on that, I have every right to do that. I have every right to do that. But also understand, $15 an hour is better than no dollars an hour. So if you're not working, take that job at $15 an hour and do what you got to do and still apply to other jobs. That's what you do. So I asked what it was, and she was like, the range is from this to this. So I was like, I bet. I'll go ahead and take it, because the range was more than I'm making at the new job. When she gave me the range, I already knew that I was going to ask for the top of that range, right? Now, That can go one of two ways. They can say yes, or they can say no. They can't get mad at you for asking. A lot of times they'll say no because, not necessarily because of the experience. They'll say because most jobs, actually every single job, even the high paying jobs, they have caps on them. They have salary caps, meaning how much they can pay you for that particular job. If they give you the top of the bracket, there's no wiggle room. There's no room for you to grow salary-wise. They're going to have to change your title or give you added responsibility. They're going to have to do something in order to be able to give you more money to justify it to, legal and HR. They can't just say, oh, okay, we want to pay Star 80 grand now because, just whatever. It doesn't work that way. Every job has a cap, period. A ceiling, if you will. So that's why they have a range. So when they came back with the offer, it was like $2 under what the cap was, what she told me the cap was. So I asked for the cap. I was like, I said it in a nice way. I was like, nah, I just want to know if this is negotiable because, she told me that this was the range. I just want to see what she's talking about. So he was like, so you want to come back at this? I was like, yeah, I want to come back at that. It's just like when you buying a house or whatever. So I was all excited. And he said, all right, let me go back to her and I'll hit you back, whatever. So I think about maybe 2 hours went by. He called me back and he was like, they accepted your offer. Easy. 2 seconds. You see how easy that was? You see what I'm saying? Again, they only have 2 choices. Yes, we're going to meet you at that what you want, or no, kick rocks. Even actually, no, not even no, kick rocks. No, we can't meet you at that, but we still would like you to extend the offer to you. And then you have that choice to decide, okay, do I want to go ahead and come in at $2 under and then we work up or whatever the case. But I was like, no, let me go for it because you don't get what you don't ask for. They're not going to crucify you. They're not going to curse you out, whatever the case. They're not going to do any of that. They're only going to say yes or they're going to say no. And 90% of the time they can say yes because guess what? There's always money on the table. I've worked on both sides, so I've seen it. There's always extra money in the bucket. Always remember that. Companies are not broke because if they was, they wouldn't be hiring. Number one, there's always extra money on the table. Ask for it. You might just get it. And if you don't get it now, you might get it in 6 months. You might get it in a year. You get a raise, right? So boom, we got that. I'm supposed to start that job on July 22nd. So that's a good thing. I still have not told my current job that I'm at right now. And the reason why is because it's not that I'm not going to take the new job, because I am, but it's because I feel bad. Again, I said I like to give 2 weeks notice. I like to be, I like to be respectful. And again, I like the people that I work with. In the short amount of time that I've been working with them, I actually like them. Like, my boss appears to really care about me. And the reason I say appear is because I've only known her for 4 weeks. You get what I'm saying? But she seems genuine. The questions that she asks, the way that she checks in on me. Notice I said ask and not ax, because ax is a tool. All right? People keep saying ask when they talking about you ask a question. You don't ask a question. If you could ask a question, then you got a special skill. The word is ask. Anyway, I'm sorry. I hate when people say that, and people say it all the time. And I'm like, you did what? We did what? Okay. But anyway, she asks me questions all the time, how I'm feeling, if I feel overloaded, like, can she do anything? Let me know. I suffer from headaches, like really bad, like migraines. I have actual prescription medication for it. I just don't take it because I'm not a pill person. I don't, like, for me to take pills, I gotta like really be bad off. It's just something that I suffer from. My grandmother had it, and I've read that it's hereditary. I don't know if that's why I have it, but I have it. So for the past, I'm not gonna lie, since I started this job, I've had headaches every single day. Every single day. Like it has not stopped. I wake up with the headache. I go to bed with the headache. I just started taking magnesium pills 2 days ago because I researched that can kind of help with things like that, just because your body needs magnesium anyway. It's like, I think your body's made up of like 65% magnesium. Like, it's a very important mineral. So it just helps with things like that. And for the last 2 days that I started taking these pills, I can honestly say, knock on wood, I have not had a headache. I haven't. Today when I was at work, I felt it trying to creep back up, but it did not come, thankfully, because I'm telling you, it's like, if you've never had headaches that last days, you won't know what I'm talking about, but it's so annoying. It's not to the point where I can't function. Thank God it didn't go into the migraine status, but it's to the point where it's still there. It's very daunting. Just all day, just this low throb in your head across. And again, from what I researched, across the head is a stress headache. Because I got a lot of stuff going on. I just don't talk about it. But I got a lot of crap going on. So yeah. Trying to think. Sorry. Trying to think on, you know, what I'm going to say. Some people's like, you know, honesty is the best policy. And I agree with that. But the reason I feel bad about using or being honest is because when I had the interview for this job here, they were like, you're perfect for the medical world, right? So, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm saying this to myself. Because they was looking at my resume. And they was like, so what would you do if, you know, a hospital called you and you're already working here? What would you do? And at the time, I had no prospects. I wasn't interviewing with anybody. I wasn't nothing. So it was only them. So I was like, nothing. You know, I was like, I'm looking for a career. You know, I want to get back to that. And I want to be stable because I don't like job hopping. And that's the honest to God's truth. It really is. Unfortunately, the hospital called. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to say, but that's my problem. That's not your problem. This is for entertainment only. So I was like, all right, we secured that job, accepted the offer, yada, yada, yada. So then, 3 days ago, the hospital called me again. I saw the number pop up on the screen. I'm like, oh, maybe they just calling about like onboarding tasks or whatever. No. When I tell you God works, God works. This is another job that I applied to. From the same hospital, different department. And they want to interview me for a different, you know, different position, everything. I'm like, yo, you got to be kidding me. So just off top, I told them, I was like, oh, I already accepted a position, you know, at another location, you know, at your guys', you know, different location or whatever. And she was like, oh. But it was like a pause. It's almost as if she was waiting for me to say, yo, this battery's getting ready to die? It's almost as if she was getting ready for me to say, or waiting for me to say, like, Ann, you know, saying, do you want to interview or not? Let me change this battery because it's getting ready to cut off. And I don't feel like it cutting off while I'm talking because then I got to remember what I was saying. So hold on. Okay. So, yeah, she was like, it was almost as if she was waiting for me to just be like, you know, do you want to interview or not? So, but she didn't say that. She was just like, oh, all right. Okay, no problem. And then, you know, we hung up the phone. So then, obviously, you know, I'm telling my friends stuff about it. And everybody said the same thing. You need to interview with them. And I'm like, wait. I already have one job. I just accepted a second job that's going to replace the one job that I have. And now you're telling me to take an interview with a third job? And it was like, you always want to keep your options open because anything can happen. The job that you accepted, anything can happen with that. I was like what? Like my background check coming back crazy? I ain't never been locked up. I don't do no drugs. Ain't nothing crazy. There's nothing to find. Like I'm as clean as a whistle, so I'm not worried about that. So there would be no reason why they would renege on their offer. Like, you know, I don't know what that reason would be. It was like, still, just whatever the case, maybe this one pays more. Now, that's the thing that catches a lot of people up, is you chasing money, right? There's always going to be money to be made. You don't got to chase it. It will come to you. So you have to be very careful. You can't just take a job because it's paying more all the time. I'm not saying don't get that back. What I'm saying is be careful when you're chasing money. Because sometimes you can chase a lot of money and then you at a place that you just don't want to be at. Doing a job that you don't want to do and you're miserable. But you're getting paid, but you're miserable. Because money don't buy happiness. Okay? It sounds cliche, but I'm telling you, money does not buy happiness. It buys fun, but it doesn't buy happiness. Happiness comes from within. That little moment right there I just gave y'all. Little gem. So anyway. So I was like, alright. I was like, okay, I'm going to call him back. I called him back like 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later. Actually, no, I'm lying. I called him back the next day. Yes, I called him back the next day. And I said, you know, hey, I think I spoke to you yesterday. I haven't heard back from the other company yet, which is true. They still checking the background. I still haven't heard back from them. So I was like, I haven't heard back from them. So if the offer still stands to interview, I'll go ahead and do it. So she was like, I bet. She was like, can you come on Monday? I think this was Saturday morning I was talking to her. Again, it's a hospital, so hospitals don't close. Somebody's always going to be there. So this was like Saturday morning. So she was like, can you do Monday? I was like, yeah. So we set it for Monday. Went to the interview. Killed it. It was dope. I got a tour around, you know, the facility. Yo, this hospital is dope. The hospital inside, it has Chick-fil-A in there and Panera Bread. Never seen that in my life before. Never. Plus, they have nice cafeteria food from what I hear. You know, all of that, it lasted like almost an hour. Whatever the case. Finished the interview, sent my thank you email, customary thank you email, always send a thank you email. And did they call me? No, they emailed me. They emailed me the same day. So this was Monday. Monday had the interview, got home. Monday evening, the same day, they emailed me to come back in today, Tuesday, for the third and final interview. I was like, are you kidding me? And the person that they wanted me to meet with was the person that I met with on the second interview on Monday. She popped in at the very end, but it was kind of like, hey, how you doing? Glad I got to see you. Whatever, but it wasn't really a full interview because she didn't have time to do it. So I was like, damn, they called me back the very next day. So that was today. So I went to work, and then I left work, and then I went straight over to that interview. And that lasted like about 40 minutes. That went really well. I met with the manager, and I met with the director. You know, it kind of went over the same thing because, again, this is my third round. So I had already spoken to a lot of people. I got a lot of information, all of that good stuff. So now, you know, it's just a waiting game to see what's going to go on. But it's just been very, very interesting because, like, you know, I went from no job, crying, you know, trying to figure stuff out, trying to make different decisions, worrying, just, you know, whatever. The typical things that people go through when they're not working, you know what I'm saying, for an extended period of time, transparent moment. And then fast forward to where we got 3 jobs on it, well, a job and, oh no, 2 jobs and a possible. I feel like I'm playing spades on the table right now. And I was like, this is it. I'm not doing no more. If somebody else calls me, I'm sorry. I'm already working. I can't. Because it's too much mentally. It's too much mentally, right? For me to try to move around at the job that I'm at right now and go to my interviews. Luckily, my work schedule is so light in terms of the time that I get off that I can kind of, you know what I'm saying, move about. And Monday through Friday, I work remotely. So it was easy to interview in those days because I'll take my lunch and go to the interview. Bam, easy, right? But it's just like, it's too much. It's too much. So, yeah. So, I don't know if how long this video is, but hopefully I enjoyed it. Hopefully I taught you guys something. You know, like I said, I made the video because people was just asking me left and right, like, yo, this. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to just tell everybody all at once because I don't feel like repeating myself 1,000 times. Working, got a call, got another call. Did, what, 3 interviews. 3 interviews in the span of 2 weeks. Got 1 job, got another job, waiting on a 3rd job. And that's that. Get that paper. What else? If they come to you with an offer, try to negotiate the salary. You might get it, you might not get it. What else? Go for your passion. What else? I think that's about it. We're just going to wrap it up. Real quick video. I'm going to finish this pie. And then I'm going to the gym. I know that sounds like, yo, but listen, I had a day today, okay? I didn't even tell y'all. Yeah, that's what started it off. Yes. Because all last week, I worked from home. Since it was the holiday, you know, July 4th, whatever. So I worked at home. So my badge to get into work controls the door, the elevators, and my suite door at work. Plus the printers. You have to swipe a badge to get into everything. Because I'm in the legal department, everything is confidential. So, you know, you can't, and no, everybody just can't walk up in there, right? So I could not find my badge to save my life this morning. So I went to work, didn't have a badge, had to go to security. Security wasn't at the desk because I got to work today at 7 o'clock in the morning. Security wasn't at the desk, had to stand and wait for security to come. She came and she was like, oh, I gotta, you know, get permission to, you know, let you up or whatever. She was like, but because I know your face, because my first day, I left my computer at home. My first day on the job, like a month ago, I left my computer at home. So she had to help me get a temp computer and all this other kind of stuff. Craziness going on, craziness. She was like, but I know your face, I recognize you, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you up or whatever. She let me up, let me in the suite, all that good stuff. And then when I get home, I tore the house up. I was like, my badge is freaking here. I don't know where it is, but it's here. And I want my badge because I have a temp badge that she gave me. The temp badge only works for the elevators. It doesn't control the printer. It doesn't control the doors, and it doesn't control my suite door. So it's like I'm hostage if there's nobody in the office with me. If I got to go to the bathroom, I got to eat, I can't get back in my suite. So it's just like I need my badge back. Came home after tearing everything up. My badge is right here in the bedroom on my nightstand. It was behind a book. So, you know, that's how. Then on top of that, I left my wallet home today. So I had no money on me. Thank God for Apple Pay. Okay. And I left my cell phone charger at home. So my battery was like on 30% all day. Like maybe 20 minutes before I was getting ready to leave, I found somebody at work that had a charger, an Apple charger. They was out of work today, so I just took their charger off their desk and charged my phone up so I can get some more. Normally, I listen to church in my AirPods while I'm working because people talking and I don't feel like hearing. I want to work, I want to zone out, so I just put church on, I just listen to it, whatever. Couldn't even do that because I left my AirPods at home as well. Like, yo, everything today was Murphy's Law. Today was definitely Murphy's Law. Everything that could have went wrong, went wrong. It was just so annoying to me. And I'm just trying to understand like where all of this came from. Sometimes when it seems like stuff is just all over the place, you got to kind of stop and center yourself and just like, yo, figure it out. What's going on? What's happening? I asked my coworker, I was like, are we in retrograde, Mercury retrograde? Because that's when all of this stuff really craps out. But I'll be better tomorrow. I'm going to pack everything up tonight. I think what it was is I got too relaxed working from home last week. So stuff was here. Normally I keep my badge by the front door in my book bag because I take my book bag to work with me because it has my laptop in there and all my other stuff, and I didn't do that. So if you do stuff and you put them in other places, yo, forget it. So it was just a lot, right, Sam? It was just a lot. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym. I gotta cook, and then I gotta do AJ's hair because he's going out of town. He's getting his hair braided tomorrow. I know y'all don't care, but I'm telling you, he's getting his hair braided tomorrow, and he's got to have his hair straight. So I gotta do his hair, and then try to get into bed decent time so that I can get up and do it all over again. Okay, this apple pie is good. Dutch apple pie. Stop playing. Put some Cool Whip on it. Heat it up. Woo! Sorry, Sim. I scared Sim. You see Sim? He's laying right here. Hey, Simby. He's like, please leave me alone. I'll be bothering Sim all day. But, that's it, yeah. So, I will update y'all on whatever job I land at when I land there. Okay, I'm back. Quick update. Literally just checked my phone. And she goes, hi, Starlay. What did she say? We certainly enjoyed meeting you. We appreciate your flexibility with interviewing back-to-back with our department. We are interested in moving forward in the hiring process for the PFS lead position for the department. I will be informing our HR partners to move forward with next steps. You should hear from them in the upcoming days. Feel free to reach out with any additional questions. Talk soon. So I got that job too. So now I got to talk to, HR. And this is great. This is all great news. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all just don't understand. Y'all do not understand. I mean, I'm sure some of y'all do who's been through it, but literally from nothing, and then God just be working. And when I say, when he starts to work, like, you better watch out. You better be ready and prepared for what you asked for and for what you prayed for, because when he comes, he comes. I'm telling you this firsthand. So now I got to talk to, HR and find out what the pay is, because I still don't know what it is. I didn't ask what it was, and the reason I didn't ask was because I just didn't. That's it. It wasn't, I don't know. I just did it. Sometimes I ask and sometimes I don't. I think I was just in my groove and I was just like, all right, let's get it going. So I didn't ask what it was. I researched, and so I think I have like a slight idea of what it is. But I don't know for sure. So for now, in my head, I gotta weigh out the pros and the cons of each particular job in terms of like the hours and things like that. To just see, because one job is first shift, the other job is second shift, but the other job, from today, it's basically like a supervisor position. Not supervisor, but it's like It's a mini supervisor. That's what I like to call it. So, you know, I would be responsible for telling people what to do and things like that. And they said that they liked that about me because I already had that experience from when I was in New York working at the hospital up there. So I just gotta, you know, I gotta really think about it. I gotta see what I'm gonna do and, you know, which way I'm gonna go. Because again, I said it's not about the money, but it's just about the overall fit. So I got a, you know, a nice little decision to make. But it's good when you have these decisions to make, right? Like, we want to be in this position to where we have to sit here and decide, like, oh God, which job am I gonna take? You know? So I'm gonna sit on it, think about it, and pray on it. But I just wanted to come back and tell y'all. I was like, let me check my phone, let me see what's going on. Because I'm always on my emails. And I looked and literally just got the email. So that's dope. I mean, yeah, I kind of felt it, but you know, you never want to get, and it's not even about being cocky. It's just like you can feel when something is just really, really good versus, you know, when it's kind of crappy. So I felt confident about this. I'll put it that way. I'm not going to say I felt like, oh, I had it in the bag. I felt confident with it. So that's that. But anyway, yeah. Alright, so now let's get out of here. That's it. I promise I'm not interviewing no more. I'm done. I'm good. I got enough on my plate. Got to try to figure out where I'm going. I will keep y'all updated in the coming weeks. But we up here. We got one job, and one job. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Any other questions? Y'all know how to reach me. And I'm going to see y'all in my next one. Laters!